DuckTales the movie, Treasure of the Lost Lamp. When I was a kid, I used to watch plenty of Disney afternoon shows, but for some reason, I don't have that much memory about DuckTales. I remember watching some episodes, but it didn't stand out for me than other shows I watched back then, like Tailspin, the Aladdin series, Recess, and a few others. This is definitely not saying that the show is bad, at all. I'm just expressing my memories of the show when I was on TV. Today, I do have an appreciation for Scrooge and the city of Duckburg. Heck, I even beat the remastered game on hard! But back on the movie, can this be considered one of Scrooge's biggest treasures in his collection? Or is it not even worth a lucky dime? Let's find out. The story. Trying to make a movie adaptation of a TV series is no easy task. The challenge comes from making something that feels bigger than any other episode from the show. With DuckTales the movie, I wouldn't say that they immediately nailed it, but it is a good effort. The way the plot works is that it would escalate its way up to get the viewer's interest. It starts off with the search for the treasure of Kali Baba, giving out an action-packed start, but it feels a bit like filler and the movie can probably go without it. Then, when they found the lamp, the plot starts to kick in, but then it just feels like an extended episode, like this could easily be chopped down for TV. Finally, when the third act kicks in, that's when it feels like an actual DuckTales movie, where the action and the peril gets even bigger. As for the story itself, it does manage to successfully capture the spirit of the show, revolving itself around a treasure found by Scrooge, which in this case is a lamp with a genie in it. As for the new additions in the movie, it does feel a bit familiar by having some elements from Aladdin, like the whole genie character. Then again, this was released 2 years before Aladdin, so I can't take points because of it. It's just, if you watch it now, you'll know where it's going. It takes a while for it to grow as a movie, but when it executes as something from DuckTales, it got it right. The animation. Technically, this is from Disney, but it's not the top quality Disney that you're thinking of. I can easily say the animation has definitely upgraded from the series, and it shows. However, it has a few flaws. The design of the film, from the backgrounds to the characters, does look like it comes from the TV show, and what is new does look like it can blend in the DuckTales universe. As for the character animation, what they've done is pretty nice, and it can be considered movie quality. But it comes with a noticeable problem. From time to time, it happens when the animation becomes pretty inconsistent. I'm not sure if that's what actually happened, but it looks like the animators have to take turns animating different scenes rather than animating different characters. Sometimes they could look a little sketchy, and sometimes they suddenly have those white dots in their eyes, just to name a few. Also, at the beginning of the film, they start out with some shading on them, and then 10 minutes later, it's suddenly gone, never to be seen again. Nothing big, but I find that a bit weird. Plus, I think I prefer them without shading because with it, it looks a little too drastic of a change from the show. Another little thing I want to add that's actually a major highlight here is Murloc's transformations. At times, he would turn into different animals like an eagle or a rat, and then back to himself. And the way it's pulled off is really nice, since Murloc is shown going through the entire transformation without cutting or using close-ups. It's not the best animation pulled off, but it succeeds to look better than the TV series. The characters. Well, if you don't know about the show, then you might have a bit of a hard time trying to adapt to the new characters here. What it did with the ones from the show didn't really add anything new to develop from, or even introduce them to newcomers. From what the movie's trying to tell us, Scrooge is a treasure hunter who passionately loves money, but does have a good heart. Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Webby are the kids that know what's right, but often get into trouble, with Webby being the girl and the others being the boys. And the rest, like Launchpad, Mrs. Beakley, and Duckworth, only appear for a short time just doing their jobs. They're not hateable or anything, but it's pretty obvious that they came from a TV show, and nobody really bothered to give these characters some new development. As for the new guys, there's Genie, who's a little more like a tamed version of, well, Genie from Aladdin. A little quirky and jumpy, but just wants to have fun after thousands of years of imprisonment in the lamp. Then there's Murloc, the villain of the film, who I'm pretty surprised that nobody puts him alongside Magica and Glomgold as the biggest DuckTales villains. He certainly pulls off a menacing character with his massive size, Christopher Lloyd's low and raspy voice, and the already mentioned animal transformations. Also, the relationship between Murloc and the Genie and both their backstories are very interesting and well told, that also reveals who they are. Finally, there's Dijon, Murloc's bumbling and thieving assistant. I get what the movie's trying to do with him as a character, but he can get annoying at times by saying a lot of lame jokes. The characters might not make any newcomers feel welcome, but those that do know DuckTales will feel right at home with them. DuckTales the movie is good enough as a film, but it does get the feeling that it's an episode that's just stretched out to be over an hour. Although it's been done better by others, what they did with the story, the new characters, and the animation is better than what you're offered on TV. If you're a fan of the DuckTales series, then you'll definitely enjoy this. If not, then I highly recommend that you get familiar with the show first beforehand, so that you can understand more what's going on in the movie, even if it is by a bit. Like, a good start can be playing the remastered game. It's pretty short, and again, I beat it on hard, and if you played it like I did or on extreme, then you know the terrors of Mount Vesuvius. Hey guys, this is AniMat's. Now technically you can consider this review from a point of view of a non-DuckTales fan, but like I said, as it is, the movie's pretty good, and I do know a bit about DuckTales. But enough about that, it's time to move on to the next review, In the Animation Hat. And by the way, if you guys have a movie that you would like me to put into the animation hat for a next review, then write me an email at animatsreviews@gmail.com. Alright, now let's not waste any more time. Alright, oh, that's pretty quick. Faster than usual. Alright, and the next review shall be... Alright, and the max. Oh my god, yes! Oh, this is something I really wanted to see. Oh my god. Now, you may know about a certain film that took a really long time to make, about like 30 years. But then comes this one fan and his interpretation to save the original vision.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Race cars, lasers.